a few bad races yesterday, but finals day has worked out fairly nicely so far. Marius Ruhr just behind him. Big, impressive drive yesterday. He made up 19 positions in heat number 1 and of course made up further positions in heat number 2. A little bit of a disappointing heat number 3 where he had a puncher, had to start half a lap behind everyone else. But if you look down on the grid as well, there's quite a few new tyres on all of the karts. One of the things I didn't get Jen to do is actually look at Kevin Ludy's tyres. That was the interesting thing after yesterday, because apparently he went out on a new set in one of the heats. And looking down on the grid, I think they are in fact scrubbed tyres. But I can't quite tell. It looks like they are scrubbed on the outside. Constantine is possibly on new tyres. Hard to tell, but I'm sure many people have said Kevin used up his best set of tyres yesterday, which is going to make it very interesting. There are the tyres of Scholl, which are brand new. What has Kevin Ludy got on? That's what we want to know. If we can switch across to Kevin Ludy's kart quickly and see what tyres he is with the kart, and then we'll have a good indication of what may happen in the race. Yeah, he's on scrub tyres, so brand new tyres for everyone else. Thanks very much, Oleg, down there for catching that one. He is on used tyres, Kevin Ludy. Everyone else around him has got new tyres. That is a big, interesting fact to go through as the DD2 set off on that warm-up lap. So, grid for DD2 final lines up as follows. It will have Constantine Scholl to start from pole position in kart 602. Alongside him, last year's champion, that of 601, Kevin Ludy. Row 2, headed by Max Fleischmann, the man from Germany. He has got Nicolas Sabo, as Jen said, maybe the first Slovakian to win a championship. You never know what may happen this year. The man who jumps up from juniors to DD2. Row 3 then lines up with Harold Kaklis and Willy Valanen. Row 4 is going to be Marcel Schirmer and Nico Grimm. Row 5 is Marius Ruhr, the German racer as well, with Durante Cosmo Francesco alongside. Row 6 then sees the first of our Masters racer, which is Christoph Adams, and Joel Altonen alongside him, the Finnish racer. Row 7 is going to be Pascal Marchel with Patrick Weinstock, the next of our Masters racers. Then on to row number 8 is going to be Philip Siwa and Andrew Williamson. Row 9 is going to be the likes of Karol Germanovic with Tommy Helfinger. Row 10 lines up with Imke Arts and Pascal Druin. On to row number 10 is going to be, row 11 is going to be Imre Barizdo with Slavomir Moransky, another of our master racers. Tim Verelst is on row 12 with the likes of Frederick Franson. Row 13 lines up with Michel Biffiger and Jorge Carlos Pescador. Row 14 is going to be Manuel Schabinger and Barry Pullinger. A lot of work to do from Barry. And just to mention, Richard Coupe, one of his biggest fans apart from his mum. Richard Coupe hopefully watching the action to support Barry here this weekend. And row 15 on his own towards the back, Michael Becker rounds out the 29 starters within the grid here for DD2. So it's going to be an exciting race. 18 laps to look forward to. The fastest karts we see here this weekend, and more importantly probably the more experienced out there on track as well. Top 2 men, one of them, Constantine Scholl, has got brand new tyres on. The other, Kevin Ludy, has got used tyres from yesterday, which means he's got a lot of defending to do through this. Very, very bizarre thing to do, but me and Jen were discussing this off air, and we don't know what the strategy is of Kevin Ludy, but if he wants to go with the used tyres, he may have a plan up his sleeve. We'll have to wait and see how these 18 laps play out, but it is of course a long distance, the longest I've had all weekend long, but you never know, he may work better on used tyres. Oh, and there's contact in the middle of the pack as everyone slows down. Two have come together there, 606, which is Durante Cosmo Francesco, and 618 Joel Altonen. They just collided as they all slowed very drastically down through the last couple of corners. They're now hopefully back in formation as Constantine Scholl brings them up towards the line. We are set to go for the final of DD2 here in Belgium. Let's see how this one plays out as they come towards the line. Lights out, away we go down towards the first turn. A great start from our pole man Kevin Ludy alongside though, trying to get into second place. He needs to get to the front as soon as possible and keep everyone at bay as they hammer through the first couple of turns. Up to second place already has gone Max Fleischmann, so a good start from him in kart 636. Kevin already under pressure now from 617, which is Harold Kaklis, so a good start from him from the inside of row number 3 as the top 2 take the pack onto the back straight for the first time. Already Scholl going defensive down towards turn 6 as Max Fleischmann holds the middle of the track. Hopefully he'll get through safely at the end of the back straight, which they do. Line astern for the top 10. In towards the hairpin at turn 8 they go for the first time. Scholl leads. Fleischmann second. Third place for Kevin Ludy. Harold Kaklis is fourth. Fifth place there is going to be Willy Valanen. Good start from him from row number 3 as well. As they come up to the completion of this lap, any changes into the last corner? Well, yeah, Willy Valanen is trying to get through on Haraldsgaard Kaklis, but doesn't quite carry the speed. But here comes Marcel Schirmer from further back, looking to the inside line, the German in towards turn 1, but again not quite close enough there as they all concertina back from one another on the apex of the corner. There goes to the inside line Kevin Ludi, trying to defend now as hard as ever. Sits there in 4th place, already been passed by Haraldsgaard Kaklis. Up into the podium he now goes. On towards the back straight they head once more. No major problems on that first lap as the top 2 get closer and closer. In fact, those 2 now are pulling away, so I just wonder if Kevin Ludi's held them back over the first lap just to extend this now gap over 2nd and 3rd. Here comes Max Fleischmann, going to lead the race for the first time down inside at turn 9. Very nicely done. So Scholl is now down to 2nd. Up into the lead goes Max Fleischmann. 3rd place for Haraldsgaard Kaklis, now catching the top 2 as well. So 1, 2, 3 together. 4th place has gone Ville Valanen. 5th place for Marcel Schirmer. 6th place is going to be Nicolas Sabo. And 7th place at the end of lap 2 is Kevin Ludi. A long way down. This is going to be a torrid final for him. And surely one to forget after going for the wrong tyres. Possibly in yesterday's race, we're not too sure, but he's left with nothing on the kart for this race, so there's major work to do for him as I head through on towards the back straight once more. Let's have a quick look at Barry Pullinger. He's up into 16th place now, so Barry's into 16th as down the inside line at turn 6 goes Haraldsgaard Kaklis, ahead of last year's runner-up in DD2 Konstantin Scholl, now down to 3rd place. Ville Valanen not too far back as well in 4th. He's now caught up with the leaders. Just about there as well is the German Marcel Schirmer for RS competition. On towards the final corner they now head. We've got Nicolas Sabo in 6th place. Yesterday's pole man through the heats. He was quickest on Friday qualifying. He's almost there now with the front runners as they go through. Kevin Ludi still down in 7th. Marius Ruhr is 8th, and a change for the lead again because Haraldsgaard Kaklis this time takes it over. So the good luck talk with Jen on the grid has done him the world of good. He's taken that luck on board and now leads the race by just a 10th of a second over Max Fleischmann. 3rd place at the minute is still Konstantin Scholl. 4th place and quickest man on circuit, Ville Valanen, with a 55.288 as they work their way down the back straight for the 4th time of asking. Marcel Schirmer still 5th. 6th place Nicolas Sabo and 7th place Kevin Ludi. First of the Masters is Christoph Adams. He sits there in 9th place. Second within the Masters class is now Patrick Weinstock by the looks of it, 14th place overall, second within the class as the leaders head down towards the final turn. 4 laps now to be recorded as they power through once more across the start-finish stripe down towards the first corner. Any changes on this occasion? Anyone trying to dart out? Yes, there are. Konstantin Scholl now goes for the inside line to take 2nd away, and Ville Valanen is going to follow suit as well, but Max Fleischmann keeps the door shut there on the exit of the corner. They power now on towards the left-hander at turn 4. The only change that has been made inside the top 4 places is for 2nd. So Scholl now ahead of Fleischmann. Leader still Haraldsgaard Kaklis by 0.3 of a second. Gradually growing. Ville Valanen down the inside line. He's made a mistake though, which is allowed now through the Marcel Schirmer machine. So Marcel up to 4th place. Ville Valanen tried for it, but now has dropped down to 5th position. It's all happening behind the leader at the minute, Haraldsgaard Kaklis, because... Oh, in fact, what's happened to Harold there? He had a mistake, didn't he? I missed that one. Konstantin Scholl, though, has taken over the lead of the race. So Haraldsgaard Kaklis down to 3rd place for some bizarre reason. Just wonder if he made a mistake off the back straight, but whatever it is, he's down to 3rd. Now under pressure from Marcel Schirmer in 4th place. Through turn 1 they go once more. Now on this 6th lap of the race. Scholl leads by 0.8 of a second. Kaklis is still 3rd. 4th place Schirmer, 5th place Ville Valanen. The top 7 now being joined by Marius Ruhr, so his good luck continues as well. He's gained 1 place so far within this race, but of course if he can find what he did yesterday, he could make up a few more before the checker flag is shown. We're not quite at yet a 3rd race distance. It'll be at the end of this one we complete that with 6 laps in the book. Through they come then on towards the final turn. Scholl still ahead now by a reduced margin because Max Fleischmann has closed the gap down to half a second between the top 2. Haraldsgaard Kaklis still 3rd, Schirmer 4th and Ville Valanen 5th. Those are all together on track now down towards the first turn. Kevin Ludi under attack here from Marius Ruhr behind the front fighting pack, I can tell you. And Marius Ruhr now goes through into 7th place. So Kevin Ludi continuing to struggle. falls down the order. Best lap has been now set by our 9th place man, which is Durante Cosmo Francesco. 55.278 for him. Next man he has to pass is Kevin Ludi. And how close is he to Kevin? He is, right on the tail now. So Kevin's looking to fall outside the top 10 before too much longer. Christoph Adams all on his own in 10th place. But he's doing well. And again, he could be a man to work his way past Kevin Ludi before we see the end of the race. Lap 7 now to be completed for Konstantin Scholl. We're down to just 0.2 of a second between the first two men. Through they go then. 1-2 as quick as you can say as they go down towards the first corner. Harold Garkaklis still there in 3rd. Marcel Schirmer a little bit closer in 4th place. Over the curb goes Vili Valanen, which just seems to gain him a little bit more time there. 2nd place man all over the back now of Scholl as they head out of turn 5. He is now the quickest man on circuit as well as Max Fleisman at 55.229. Still nothing to choose between the first 6 men now because they've been caught by Nicolas Sabo. And then a slight gap back to 7th place, which is Durante Cosmo. There's a problem there for 641, which is the machine of Pascal Drouin. So Pascal has had a problem. Here's a retirement from the race, the first one we see in this DD2 final. Scholl down towards the final corner once more. I think the good thing now for Scholl is that Max Fleisman is under attack from Harold Garkaklis, so the pressure is just relieved slightly off the back of the Scholl machine. And there goes Harold Garkaklis for a move for 2nd. A very late lunge at turn 1, but he goes through. So Harold's back to where he thinks he should be this weekend. He now needs to find one more place to be where he was earlier in this race, and he's just gone and set the quickest lap of anyone, a 55.107. So we're almost down below the 55-second mark. In yesterday's qualifying session, we did a 54.7, so not too far adrift of that at the minute. And we're going quicker and quicker in what are probably similar conditions to what we had in qualifying as well. Very hot this afternoon. A little bit earlier in the afternoon from what we had in qualifying, but here comes Harold then trying to fight back on Max Fleisman again. He's just lost out through the back straight, but he's now back ahead of Max. This is all allowing Konstantin now to break away. The gap sits at half a second, surely a little bit more this time round as they cross the line. 9 laps now to be completed. We are at half race distance as Scholl goes through. He leads Harold by 0.8 of a second on this occasion, so yeah, the gap has grown this time round. On towards the 10th lap we go. Scholl still out front. 2nd for Harold Garkaklis. 3rd place for Max Fleisman. 4th place is Vili Valanen. 5th place now is Nicolas Szabo at the start of this lap. 6th place is Marcel Schirmer. 7th place for Durante Cosmo, the Italian. 8th place is Kevin Ludi on his own at the minute, not being caught by Marius Rua. In fact, he's under attack from Christoph Adams and Pascal Marchel. Those 3 altogether just outside the top 10. And then you've got Joel Altonen on his own in 12th, and Barry Pullinger still making good progress in 13th place. He's made up some 15 places so far within this race. Can he make it to the top 10? Wouldn't put it out of Barry's reach. He's good enough to get there, so let's see what he can do over the closing laps. We're now on to lap number 11 as the leaders go through. The gap comes down between 1st and 2nd, 7/10 between Scholl and Garkaklis. 3rd place is still that of Maxi Fleisman, and 4th place is Vili Valanen. Those 4 now just broke away from the battle in Marcel Schirmer and Nicolas Szabo. So there's a little bit more distance now between 4th and 5th, which means those 3 in 2nd, 3rd and 4th can just concentrate on Konstantin Scholl, and already the gap has come down. It was 7/10 at the line, it was 6/10 at the end of sector 1. Is it going to be near enough touching distance at the end of sector 2? I wouldn't rule it out here from Harold Garkaklis. It looks a lot closer to the eye. Through they go. It's down to 0.4 of a second, so yeah, definitely now Konstantin Scholl being caught. Are his tyres starting to drop off? Is he just bedding them in and making sure they're good for the end of the race? We'll have to wait and see here, but definitely Harold is now starting to catch as they work their way on towards the start-finish line once more. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th go through. It's Scholl, Garkaklis, Fleisman and Vili Valanen. No change further back. Everyone stays as they were pretty much. There's Scholl then in kart 602. As we said, last year's runner-up within the DD2 championship. But now the man in 2nd has just gone and set the quickest of anyone. Not quite with a 54, but a 55.011 for Harold Garkaklis. A man who finished inside the top 5 at the Winter Cup in Spain around about 6 weeks ago. Scholl, on the other hand, didn't feature with inside the top running order at all, did he? He finished down in 13th place, so it was a terrible start to the season for Constantine. Trying to put that all correct here this weekend as they work their way on towards the end of this next lap. The gap comes down and down between himself and Haraldsgaard Kaklis. As we said earlier, Constantine Scholl had a bad pre-final a year ago here in Belgium, but he made up for it in the final, where he picked himself up a 7th position at the minute. As I said, a lot better than last year, but he's still got a lot of pressure from behind here. Haraldsgaard Kaklis is one of those. Quickest man on circuit last time round. Also in the mix there, Max Fleeceman in 3rd. And Willy Verlanen on. Very wide goes Constantine Scholl. Is off the track at turn number 5. Constantine just ran straight out. He must have just missed his braking point, but he's gone and thrown the lead of this race away. Is there a problem with that kart, or was it just a mistake on the hand of Constantine Scholl? Just as I was saying, he had a bad pre-final last year. I think he's got a puncture. That may be the cause. Let's see if we can have a look through the binoculars, and I can't really see at the minute if the car's wobbling, or the cart's wobbling, sorry, and there is something drastically wrong with his kart. Trying to pick up speed now. Let's see if he pulls into the pit lane or if he continues on his way. Through turn 10 he goes. He's going to carry on though. Feels it's okay, so he'll push on regardless. As we've had the change for the lead then, it's all swapped around out front after the demise of Constantine Scholl. It's Haraldsgaard Kaklis now that leads, much closer out front. Max Fleeceman sits 2nd still, and Willy Verlanen there in 3rd place. Slightly wide there from Haralds on this 14th lap of the race. Nearly let Max Fleeceman down the inside, but he holds on for it for the time being. Through turn 6 they go. Fast double right-hander of turn 7, which leads into the hairpin at turn 8. Here comes Max looking for an inside line, but nothing really showing on this occasion. Just in fact now dropped Willy Verlanen, so 0.6 of a second behind the top 2 is Willy. Durante Cosimo is there in 4th, the Italian. Marcel Schirmer still sits 5th. 6th place for Nicolas Sabo. 7th is Kevin Ludi. Is there or thereabouts. Not bad at all on these used tyres. 8th place now for Pascal Marchel. 9th place for Marius Ruhr. 10th place is our Masters leader still, that of Christoph Adams, as they all cross the line for the 14th time of asking. Behind them is still the recovering Constantine Scholl. 12th place for Imre Barizdo. 13th place is Michel Biffiger, and 14th place now for Barry Pullinger. Onto the back straight they go once more, the leaders. Haraldsgaard Kaklis is charging hard. Going to pick up the next battle behind the top 3, I think, because Marcel Schirmer is having a good fight here with Durante Cosimo. Max Fleeceman trying to get past Haraldsgaard Kaklis in towards turn 9, but doesn't get through on this occasion. Heading down towards the final corner for the 15th time. Pushing on now for another lap. Last year here in Belgium, Haraldsgaard Kaklis again a bad pre-final and finished outside the top 10 in the final. He's going to try and make up for that. Hopefully I haven't jinxed him this time, touch wood. But Harold leads the race ahead of Max Fleeceman by just 79 thousandths of a second at the start of this lap. Max again looking for the inside line but doesn't go through. They power down the back straight once more. In towards turn 6 they now head, but no change between those 3 out front. There's the next trio of karts, which are still Durante Cosimo, Marcel Schirmer and Nicolas Sabo. None of them on the cards for a podium at the minute, so they've got the best of the rest to fight out for as they head their way through turn 9. Here comes the leaders then down towards the final corner once more. Kaklis, Fleeceman and Willy Verlanen. There's a move down the inside line from Nicolas Sabo. Gets himself up into 5th place. Works his way past Marcel Schirmer. 2 laps now to go then in the DD2 final. In towards the first corner once more. Max Fleeceman looking as racy as ever. Surely he's going to go through before too much longer here. Haraldsgaard Kaklis just putting up a great defence in his manoeuvres around the track. Down through the right-hander at turn number 6. Willy Verlanen again not quite close enough here, but again, is he just staying out of the way in case there is trouble ahead? Could be a wise move for Willy. A little bit of a flapping front bumper there on his kart as well, but I don't think that's causing him too much problem. Won't be slowing the kart down that much. There's only one long straight here in Belgium, and that is of course the back straight. To be fair, the front straight is fairly long as well, but you're concentrating on your exit speed and your entry into the first corner. You're not really worried about how fast you're going down the main straight. Marcel Schirmer's lost another position, by the way, because Nicolas Sabo has gone through. I think we mentioned that anyway, didn't we? So that's already confirmed for 5th and 6th place. But now we go on to the last lap here in Belgium for the DD2s. There goes Max Fleischmann. He left it till the last lap. He knows he's just got one more lap to go now, and he leaves his best till last. But can Harold Garcaklis fight back? Villy Valanen's back with him again as they head their way on towards turn number 5. Does Villy go for a move on towards the back straight? Nope, he stays there in 3rd place. Slightly slow on the exit of the corner there for Max Fleischmann, but I think he's got it covered down towards turn number 6. To the outside line goes Harold Garcaklis. It's now a defensive drive to the end here for Max Fleischmann, slightly wide on the exit of turn 7. They work their way to turn 8. Villy Valanen looking for the inside line. Is there contact between the two? Nope, Harold Garcaklis just about leaves enough room as he runs over the exit curb there. He loses time to Villy Valanen, who now sits himself in 2nd place, but is Max Fleischmann secure for the win here in Belgium. The German on his way by the looks of it to victory. Through the final corner they come. DD2 final coming to a close. Checker flag at the ready, and it's going to be a win for Max Fleischmann. He knew what he was doing. He comes through and he left that till the bitter end. Harold Garcaklis congratulates him with a nice fist bump there. Villy Valanen comes through for 2nd, and Harold Garcaklis does get himself on the podium after starting that race from 5th place. But again, a great race from DD2. The front runners work their way round on this slowing down lap. 4th place goes to the Italian Durante Cosmo, and Marcel Schirmer made up a place on that last lap to get back ahead of Nicholas Szabo. But the final results then from that DD2 race, it's a win for Maxi Fleischmann after 18 laps of racing. He wins by just a quarter of a second ahead of Villy Valanen.